Hey, Limit Breakers. Happy New Year 2021. Goodbye 2020. Now, I just want to start off with this as I reflect back over this year. I want to acknowledge and send my love and thoughts and prayers to those who had lost loved ones this year, those who have struggled with the challenges and the suffering that this year has brought. I just want to get that out of the way, and I just want to send my love and prayers to you all who's gone through tough time. I'm sure we all have in some way, one way or another, whether it's due to what's going on right now in the world or just personal issues or family stuff or any other challenges. It's never easy, but here we are, end of the year. And as I sit here, I'm literally just reflecting back over this weird, challenging year. But during this challenging year, I have also experienced loving friendships. And as I went through a completion process yesterday with my business partner, Ik, we were just going through a few things about what are we over with and what have we learned this year and what we've created this year, despite being in the situation that we are in. And tightening inner circle is one, and also appreciating people in our lives, people like Ian, who is on my live right now. Thank you so much for being a huge rock and support in my life this year. And although, we'd known each other for many years, we didn't really get to connect as much as we did this year, which I'm very, very thankful for. So thank you so much for being a part of my life this year and doing what you do. And thank you for the pizza. I really appreciate a pizza for New Year's Eve is awesome. Can't lie. Happy New Year, Louise. Many wishes and best wished for your health and happiness and love and support. Thank you for all that you do. There's so many people I do want to thank, just not those whoever is watching right now, whether we get to speak, whether we got to connect. I know I'm really bad at connecting with everyone, and there's always something that I struggle with, and one of the challenges I want to overcome in 2021 is to be able to connect with each and one and everyone at a deeper level, whatever that means. I don't know how that looks like, whether it's a message now and then, whether you get to be on my email list where I get to start emailing everyone about my tips and advice for digital transformation, health, life, stepping up, showing up, staying up, whatever principles and methodologies that I use to help others, right? And this is something I've always had. And also going back with the whole podcast, there's another blessing that I had that I held myself back on was, what am I over? And this was a big one, was hiding behind perceived authorities. Now, last year and the year before that, when I was working with Ik, he was often the face of the business, as the speaker, as the front, as the guy who just did the delivering of the work. And he was very much the front of the business. So I was always behind the scenes. I was never really in front, and I was never seen. So this year has taught me to become more visible. Now, which is funny because I teach and coach people how to become more visible online. yet I wasn't being or doing that. So this year has definitely helped me step out more of my comfort zone. It's also helped me step out more of the shadow of perceived authorities that I had in my circle of my being, which was, and again, it was the fear of showing up and the fear of succeeding. Now, these are core beliefs that I've always had, and this year really helped me overcome those challenges. And it's one of those, it took me ages, right? It took me ages, but the podcast really helped me step out of that comfort zone and also being able to reach out to other perceived authorities that I've had in my life. I've interviewed so many CEOs, business owners, entrepreneurs, keynote speakers. All of these people are very much people who I've admired, who I learned from, who I've followed for many years. So being able to have this platform and reach out to them and interview them was such an honor and blessing for me, because I got to ask them questions that I've always wanted to ask. I wanted to ask them questions so deep that they've never thought about it. In a way, they go, "That's a very great question," or no one's ever asked me that question. So those are the type of things that I get to have, especially those type of conversations. I've never been a service level person. So when it comes to trying to connect with people at a deeper level, I struggle with the whole reaching out with a "hey, how are you" thing, because it's very surface level. Like, I want to know the details. I want to know how's your life. I know how you're coping with your mental health, how you're coping with your stress, how you're dealing with the challenges and any dark thoughts that you are having. I want to know all of those kind of things. Like, I can't do surface level talk. So being able to build meaningful connections this year and have meaningful and quality conversations has been a big one. Like, it's a huge challenge for me. I don't know why. Just the service level stuff just doesn't do it for me. And at least I've got to overcome that, and also showing up more online, showing up more on lives like this, to do what I do, to share what I have, share what I'm learning, but also being able to create those meaningful connections and tightening up inner circles. Like, this year has shown me so much, you could say, the true colors or the real person behind their online presence. I've had friends who unfriended me because I didn't agree with their points, or I didn't agree with their perspective, right? Regarding whether it's political or whether it's whatever's going on in the world right now. I'm cool with that. You know, if you want to unfriend me because we don't agree on a certain point, that's cool with me. I respect everyone to have different beliefs, different views, different opinions, different favorite ice creams and favorite football teams and whatnot. I really couldn't. I really don't mind, like, what you choose to believe and what you choose to support, to be honest. But to unfriend me over those kind of things really shows me how much people value me as a friend. And, you know, these were people who I thought were brothers or sisters, like family type. You know, we're supposed to be part family. Well, you know, at least how I saw it anyway. And maybe I had the wrong I had a different perspective or perception even of the relationship. And I very much treat everyone who has or is my life like brothers and sisters. I never discount anyone. I never treat anyone differently because of who they are, what title they hold. I've always treated everyone at equal terms, right? And that's one thing that I've learned over this year is I've stopped putting a lot of the mentors or people who inspire me on pedestals. I respect them, and that's a huge thing. Like, just knowing when to just respect them for who they are and what they do, and putting them on a pedestal is two completely different things. And I've learned very much this year. And the whole friends who don't value me because of different beliefs, or because I didn't support them in the belief that they had, and they decide to unfriend me or not speak to me anymore, is something that I was like, okay, if you would just unfriend me because of that, then it really shows how much you really valued me as a friend, as a brother, as someone who was part of your life for many years. In a way, I see that as petty, but that's my opinion, and I see that's very, very shallow as well, because they didn't even get to have that one-on-one conversation with me to say, we didn't agree on something. Could we discuss this? It's just like they just unfriended me. I just didn't even say anything. And then it was coming to when I was about to message them, and I saw that they unfriended me on Facebook. I'm just like, okay, therefore you don't want to speak to me then. Okay, fine. I won't drop you that message. And it's just been a weird world this year. Like, it's shown me who really in my life really matters. Like, some of the people who I thought I respected just really shown their true colors, and I was very, very shocked. At the same time, I don't hold any grudges. I don't hold any resentment. I respect them for their choices. If they choose to do that, then so be it. But I remember sharing that meme was, if you used to reconnect with me again after you unfriended me, I'm going to charge you for wasting my time. Because I really just want to stop spending my time on people who don't value it. And this is something that I've started to really understand, like how important to have this peace. And there was a discussion I had with my business partner, Ik, and even he said, like, this year, achieving a great sense of inner peace, he would not trade that for anything. And I agree, like, that whole inner peace, being let down by friends and people who just don't value your time and your efforts, I've stopped holding on to that, because as much as I understand there's time for anything, but friendships and loyalty is one huge thing. Like, loyalty and integrity, that is two things were just huge things in my life. I don't know why, but those that know me for many years, those that value me as a dear friend, a great friend, a brother, whatever, I really value and honor it. And those that decide to just unfriend me over little things, like we don't share the same beliefs or the same views on something, and you unfriend me and you don't just want to speak to me, then so be it. Like, I got to that point now. I was like, okay, fine. Don't waste my time. If you was to come back to me, or if you need any help with anything else, I would have second thoughts. It's one of those points where I just got so thorough with my filtering in terms of, that's why now it's much harder for me to let in people in my life. Like, my circle is very, very tight, and to gain my trust is even much harder because of these people, which is a shame. Like, I get to connect with so many amazing people, but it's only by action that people prove themselves they're worthy of my time, and that I want to spend my time on them. Because I always say, like, if you need me, I'm here. There's no doubt about that. But if you waste my time, then that's a different issue. If you're just messing around with, we don't agree with something, and you unfriend me, then grow up in a way. Like, I've got to that point where I'm just like, if that's how you see our friendship and it's not concrete enough, then so be it. Like, I've got more important people to put my time into. Like, hey George, great to see you. Hey Chris, bro, we need to catch up. I sent you a message on Podbooker, so we need to speak, Chris, bro. So check your inbox. And so yeah, just acknowledging friends that don't value my friendship and my time anymore is just like, I need to move you on so that I could spend my energy on other people who I want to spend it on. It's so harsh, but I've really got to that point where I just don't want to mess around with my energy and my time and where I want to value people anymore. So, and that's a huge lesson, right? Friends and people who just disappear out of your life, and because you have certain different beliefs, or you didn't, or I didn't support them in their beliefs or their views in something, or I told them a harsh truth and they didn't really settle in with it. And that's the thing with me, is I'm very direct. I would tell you as it is. I don't want to beat you around the bush. I don't want to lie. I don't want to fluff things around for you, because that's just not who I am. It's not what I do. And that's where I so many people get I suppose annoyed with me, because I'm very direct. I really get straight to the point, and I'm not shy about it. I would just tell you as it is. And I suppose that's why people say, oh, Jono, you're so rude. Or I come across rude, because I have that approach. But as a brother, as a friend, as a dear friend, and if I know what's best for you, I'd rather not beat you around the bush with it. I'd rather just tell you as it is and be like, this is why you're doing what you're doing. This is how it is. You need to either get over it, get on with it, or you're going to just stay stuck. And I suppose working with so many people this year, with people who've just been stuck or lost, it's you either accept that direction, that you're lost and stuck, you need help, you get guidance, you implement the strategies, the processes, and you move forwards, or you stay in that mindset where you're just stuck and lost and you don't move forwards, and you stay there forever. Like, or you stay there for a very long time until you really decide to put in the work. And putting the work, that's another thing. Like, this year was a lot about implementation and just taking imperfect action. Like, I used to be trying to do, I still do try and do things so perfect nowadays, like even the graphics and the systems and stuff, putting all those out there, but knowing that to a point where I just like, just get it out there and just launch it. As long as it looks good, the message is there, pull it out, stop being so perfect. And that's, like, I think it was one of my mentors who said, taking imperfect action is the best form of action. Because you're doing something, you're moving on, you're getting on with it. It doesn't have to be 100% perfect, wherever perfect is, right? That illusion. And that's something, another thing I got over this year. And there's so much that I've learnt and grown. And appreciating, another thing, appreciating what we have. Like, I'm glad I sold my sports car last year or the year before, because obviously now this year we couldn't even drive it anywhere, right? You have these nice fancy cars, but you don't even get to touch it anymore. So I'm glad that I did get rid, or didn't get rid, but like sell it on, right? Because now just having a car that just gets me A to B, I'm happy, I'm content. I don't have to worry about it costing me a huge amount of money or whatever it is. It's just an A to B car. It gets me one point A to B, right? It may not be as fast, it may not be as flashy, but I've got to the point where I enjoyed that sports car for 6.5 years. It served me during that time. I've had my joy, I had my fun. and now it's just getting on with the work. And it's taught me so much this year about appreciating what really matters, like the whole material stuff, like having fancy stuff, materials, just never done it for me anyway. But less more so this year. Really, it's just spending the quality time that I get to have with my family, and it's the friends that I get to speak to and connect with, especially nowadays with literally this online virtual working from home world is something that I've been doing the last 10, 15 years anyway. My lifestyle hasn't really changed other than the fact that I can't go to the gym because of lockdown, but I can still work out at home. It may be a bit different. It's just band workout or go for walks, which is not as fun as lifting heavy stuff at weights and stuff at gym, but it is what it is. We got to just deal with it and move on. And health, right? Health is another thing. Like that's one thing that I've always banged on about the last 2 or 3 years, and it's still something I bang on about now. Having true health is wealth, because if we don't have health, we just won't be able to live it. We won't be able to do stuff that we want to do. We won't have the energy and all the mental capacity to deal with what's going on right now. It's not easy. Working behind a computer all day or stuck at home all day, you have to have that mental resilience and capacity to work through it, to push through, to show up every day, to show up online, especially nowadays showing up online. It's such noisy area. Everyone's selling, everyone's marketing, everyone's pushing stuff to your face, regardless whether you want it or not, they are. Even I do. Not gonna lie, I have been doing it, and I'm not afraid to admit it, because a lot of people do need my help and support with digital marketing and digital transformation, especially for those that just don't understand the online world. Like this world, it's a completely different ball game, and I get that. Like if I was to play the offline game, I would not know where to start. It's the same. It's a different game. It's playing it's playing a different computer game. All right, it's a different genre, different category, different experience, different skill set. There's different strategies you use. It's but the principles are still there. Like the whole online space, as scary as it is, as noisy as it is, as long as you get the right guidance and strategy in place, it's not as scary as it seems. Reach out for people who do know what they're doing. People like myself that consult in that area. There's many other specialists in digital marketing, not just me. There's many other people. But don't be afraid to reach out, or even YouTube. YouTube is the best source of information or learning right now. I've learned so much on YouTube, more than anything else this year. Like not being able to, either I have access to the specialists in my network to ask for help, and sometimes when I don't want to trouble them with the details, I kind of just go on YouTube and someone's just put in all the details stuff in there. So if you really want to learn deep tutorials, YouTube's the best place. Like it's so freely available. So many people undervalue the power of YouTube as a resource. Like I've had so many workouts, so many plumbing skills. Yes, I did some DIY plumbing. Another skill set to add to my list this year. And this is the thing, you have to be resourceful as well. Like having no access or having limited access to resources, internet at the palm of our hands, on Google, YouTube, whatever, everything's there. That's one big thing. And what else have I learned this year? Appreciation, material stuff, grateful, friends, network. So many things, but very blessed this year. I got to get engaged with my fiance earlier this year before we did get put into lockdown in March, which was funny because we only got to experience literally like 2 months of 2020 together. And the rest of it was like non-existent pretty much. We barely got to spend time together this year because of what's going on. And it's sad and it's upsetting, right? You just got engaged and then you don't get to spend the next, I don't know, you don't get to spend at least 8 months, 9 months together. You spend it apart, which sucks, right? But we do have our health, we do have our parents, we do still have our family around, and we are blessed and grateful for what we have. And it just shows, how much importance we have in quality time, in who we spend it with, which is why if I get to spend time with my friends, even just messages now and then, it's very meaningful to me, and I appreciate so much and so many of you who drop me a message now and then, who stays connected, and truly grateful for what I've had this year, despite of being made redundant in July, and the whole hospitality industry, it just went into crumbled into, I suppose, just crumbled because of what's going on. And I'm sure, that's not the only industry that's crumbled, and I'm sure many others have, and everyone's going through their challenges, but I'm always hopeful, and there's always faith that I believe in, that everything is temperamental. We just need to weather out this storm temporarily, and we will get back to do what we do, get back on our feet, hold our chin up high, and really inspire and do what we want to achieve and set out to do, because the world needs each and one of us to step up, to show up, and to stay up. As scary as it seems, the responsibility is on us to lift the economy back up in what we do, whatever we do, whether we work for someone else, whether we help another business owner build their business with their clients. We're all leaving an impact somewhere along the lines. So whether you're working for an employer, your boss is struggling with what's going on, with furlough, with finances and whatnot, with challenges, same as everyone else. Work harder for them. Do much more for them, because they've grinded so much this year. They've also faced many uncertainties in decisions that you may not have thought about. Like being a business owner, I didn't understand what being a business owner meant until I was creating one. And then I had to look at finances and marketing and sales and all sorts of stuff that they put on, many different hats that they have to think about. They have to think about keeping their team happy, making sure they're building the right culture, putting the right systems, the right processes in place to make things more smoother, to look after clients. They have to think so much more. But when you're just working in your craft, in one craft, you just think about that one craft, right? Dedicated craft, whether you're a designer, programmer, a developer, you just think about that one thing that you do. And for me, it was that digital marketing, but just having the insight and perspective of what it is like to be a business owner, a CEO, a director, they have to go through so much more. They have to do more networking. They have to keep bringing in clients. They have to make sure the books are good, making sure payroll is getting paid, right? That's big thing. A lot of business owners I know, they want to make an impact, and they don't want to not let their staff go a month without payroll. That sucks to be in that position. So work much harder for them. Push yourself to help them up even more. Step up. What else you could push yourself in doing and helping them grow the company and the team and the resources that they have, because they're very limited. They scale back a lot. They had to, of course, more this year probably because of what's going on. But even for business owners, is more compassion for the team and for yourself as well. Importance of self-health. I've met and spoke to a lot of directors and business owners who fallen ill because of burnout, just being kept awake at night because they're not sure how to do payroll, because the finances aren't looking good and clients aren't paying on time and all sorts. It's truly challenging year for many of us, and whatever title or position you hold right now in what you do, whether you work for yourself, whether you work for someone else, just be more, I suppose, putting up with hope and faith and just trusting in that process that we'll get through this together. We'll get through this, as challenging and tough as it may seem right now. I know there's going to be a light at the end of the tunnel, right? There's always a light at the end of the tunnel. No matter how dark, how challenging, how rough it gets, there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. And I get this because during my times with depression and stuff that I went through, I've always had this glimpse of light that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. You crawl through it, you fight through it. Oh no, you push through it, you break through the walls, whatever it may be, there's always something that you go through. And it's going to be hard. It's going to be challenging, but you're not alone. We are all here. I'm here. If you need help, you want to chat, you want to support, you need someone to guide you, I'm happy to send you a network of people that I've known in the industry. That's another thing, is because I'm very blessed to have the network that I have. I have access to so many expertise that I can connect you with other people. That's another thing that I'm really great at in my network, is just connecting people with one another. You need someone, drop me a line. I'll connect you with someone who can help. If it's not me, then I'll drop you someone that can. And if they can't, they'll drop you someone they know. It's, we're never far away from our solution. I think it was like, I can't remember who said this. It was like your solution or your next help or solution is always like within two people in your network, or whatever it was. I can't remember. Like, just surround yourself in great communities. That's another thing. Community, that's one big thing. This year, I tightened my community. I dropped my community into like only probably 3 or 4 groups that I really stay in and roam around and learn and put my input into, because one is fun interest. That's one group, is making sure I get to have fun in my interest, like the whole gaming, the whole geek stuff. That's definitely a group that I'm in, especially with live streaming. That's an area I'm moving into. And entrepreneurship, having the right circle, the people who's higher level thinking, doing bigger business stuff, doing much more solutions, helping more other people. Those, they inspire me every day to step up. Like, every day I look at those posts and everyone's like, this year I'm doing this, or I'm doing that, I'm helping this in person. It's like, wow, like they're doing so much in their worlds. It just inspires me to do more for my world. And then strategy, a place for learning how to do more strategic thinking, how to plan, simplify things, because I complicate things, so many things. Things that just help you grow and keep you sane. Those communities and those support groups, right? They're very, very hard to come by. But once you find your tribe, find your circle, make sure to put your time into those. Which is why there's so many groups and stuff that I just cut myself out of, because I wasn't getting value from them, or I wasn't able to put value in them. So just knowing what to cut, what to filter out, what's serving you, what's no longer serving you, and move on with those, because that's one big thing that I had this year, was people that's no longer, like respect me or see me as a good friend and stuff like that. Like, I just don't have time to waste on those people anymore. If they don't see me as a friend, because of different views and different beliefs, then so be it. Like, I just don't have time to waste on those people. I'm not going to beg them to stay in my life or whatever. If they want to stay in my life, they'll stay. Like, that's how I see it anyway. If they're not going to make the effort, then I'm not going to make the effort. The whole thing with relationships, whole thing with friendships is equal. Like, you both have to put in the work. Same with relationships. Same with, with your partners. You both have to put in the work. It does not just work because one person is putting in the work. Like, if one person putting in the work, the other person's not, it's going to fall sour very quickly. And friendships the same. Like, friendships, relationships, partnerships, clients, it's the same. You need to put in the work. You need to put in the time, the energy to nurture the relationships. And that's one other big thing that I'm going to be talking about next year more is nurturing relationships, friendships, and building more know, like, and trust, building more deeper, meaningful connections, building more quality connections, not just, high bye friends, right? I have so many of those, and it got to the point where it's just like, I've known them for many years. We don't really speak. Am I going to able to help them anymore? Do they need my help? Or maybe we just don't in the same world anymore. Some people like to stay in touch, some don't. But just know where you're putting your energy. So huge things, big learnings. I didn't think I was going to do a reflection video post, but here I am. I just jumped on because I was reflecting, and then now again I'm speaking for half an hour, 40 minutes again that I didn't expect to. It was supposed to be like a 5 minute, 10 minutes. Hey, happy new year, goodbye 2020. But thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate all the love and support that you've given me this year. I really appreciate it. Thank you for staying on and tuning to my lives, your likes, your loves, whether you like my content, whether you like my memes, whether I'm keeping you having fun online, showing up, staying up, and stepping up, and to be able to share what I do with you all has been a huge honor and blessing for me, because I didn't think I had the voice and the confidence and belief in myself that I could do what I do and really add value to other people's lives. I've always kept playing small behind the scenes, even with digital marketing stuff. Like, yes, making a lot of people money online is great, but I never really did it for other, did it for myself or did it for whatever. And be able to do what I do with spreading the message, whether it's love, joy, happiness, inspiration, having a voice. It's all new, but it's also fun and exciting at the same time. And really letting go of the fear, right? The fear of showing up. I teach people how to show up online, but yet I was so fearful of showing up online myself because I wasn't sure how I would show up and how scary it may be and what other people may say, and people may not like my content. People may not like what I say and how I say things because I'm so direct. All of those are just limiting beliefs that's holding you back. Literally. It's not as scary as it seems. The world is your oyster right now. The online world is a bigger oyster. It's such a eye-opener to many people. But possibilities are very much in the digital world right now, especially connecting with different countries and working with different people across the world. And I know a few other people who has international clients. Like, it's opened up so many doors for people. And there's so much opportunities and so many people needing your help. You just need to find them, not just finding them, but showing up at the right places. Showing up the right places, finding them, talking to them, having deeper quality conversations, and being able to just be of service and be of help. Like, help one another. Like, don't, when people are just showing up to have an argument on your post, just ignore them or just block them. It's not worth your time. Even if it's someone that you felt like, oh, he's a dear friend, or he or she was someone that I thought was dear friend and hold them at high regard, whatever, right? If they start being a dick, get rid of them. Like, it's not worth your time. It's not worth the effort. True friends would not comment on your post like that or troll. Oh, not troll, but like, trolling is a different thing. If you got fun troll friends and you troll each other's posts, that's a different thing. But being mean about someone's post and the comments and negative and hateful comments, just get rid of them. It's not worth your time. And put your time on actually supporting others who need your help, who worth your time, who deserves your time, and who's not just there to look for a fight. And that's another thing. Conflict resolution. Conflicts is another thing that I want to talk about next time. I won't go into this time, but and deep breath in. Just spend time on those that deserve your time and who's not just putting hateful meaning, demeaningful comments on your post and putting you down and things like that. Just get rid of them. They're not worth the time. They're not worth the energy. There's too many blood-sucking energy vampires out there. Be wary of those people. Don't give them energy. Don't give them attention, because they, those kind of people just really want to drain other people's energy. But don't give it to them. Get rid of them. Put them into people who really need your help, really need your time and attention. And just support one another, because I would say next year it's going to be much more about compassion, more about empathy, understanding where people are at in their lives. We don't know what people are going through. We don't know if they're grieving, they're suffering, they've just had a loved one going through a battle, a challenge. We just never know what people are going through right now. And so be more loving, be more supportive, be more kind. Have a great 2021 and goodbye to 2020. Much love to you all. Thank you for all the love and support. I will see you all tomorrow next year. And much love. So live life no limits. Enjoy your day. Have an amazing day. And just lots of love. Sending you much love and appreciation and best wishes for the new year. So speak soon. Peace out.